Hello, family, and welcome back to the channel. Prince Harry is officially back in the United Kingdom. After days of speculation, endless headlines, anonymous palace sources, debates over accommodation, and television panels treating his every movement like a state secret, the Duke of Sussex has arrived safely in Britain. But here's the interesting part. Now that he's actually there, we're finally reminded why he came in the first place. Not for royal pageantry, not for tabloid drama, not to fuel another week of endless speculation about who may or may not have spoken to whom. He is there to support causes that have defined much of his public life for nearly 2 decades. The Invictus Games, WellChild, Scotty's Little Soldiers. Veterans, military families, and seriously ill children. Somehow, those stories rarely receive the same level of attention as palace gossip. That imbalance is worth talking about today. Let's get into it. Prince Harry has arrived in the UK to mark the one-year-to-go milestone for the Invictus Games Birmingham 2027. That is the official purpose of this visit, and it is an important one. The countdown to the Games isn't just another ceremonial event on a royal calendar. It represents the beginning of the final push toward one of the world's most significant sporting competitions for wounded, injured, and sick service personnel and veterans. The Invictus Games have never simply been about medals. Since Harry launched the initiative in 2014, the focus has been on recovery, resilience, rehabilitation, and community. Time after time, competitors have spoken about how the Games gave them purpose after life-changing injuries or trauma. Families have described seeing loved ones regain confidence they thought had been lost forever. Those stories don't generate the same dramatic headlines as royal feuds, but they often have a far greater impact on real people's lives. It is worth remembering that the Invictus Games are one of the few initiatives consistently associated with Prince Harry at every stage of his adult life. Whether he was a working royal or after he stepped away from official royal duties, his commitment to the Games has remained constant. Governments have changed. Headlines have changed. Public opinion has shifted back and forth. Yet, the work around Invictus has continued year after year. That consistency is significant because it demonstrates something that can sometimes get lost in the daily news cycle. Charitable work isn't always dramatic. It isn't always loud. It often happens quietly, away from the cameras, through years of sustained effort rather than headline-grabbing moments. In an era where public attention can shift within hours, maintaining long-term commitment to a single cause says something about priorities. Birmingham now has the opportunity to showcase not only elite adaptive sport, but also the spirit of a city welcoming veterans from around the world. Hosting the Games is a major responsibility. It brings international attention, tourism, economic activity, and perhaps most importantly, a chance for competitors to share their stories with a global audience. Those stories remind us that courage often begins after the battlefield, in hospitals, rehabilitation centers, and the difficult process of rebuilding life. Alongside the Invictus engagements, Prince Harry is also expected to spend time with WellChild, a charity he has supported for many years. That relationship predates much of the controversy that now surrounds him. WellChild works with seriously ill children and their families, helping them receive care at home whenever possible, rather than remaining in hospital for extended periods. It is demanding, often emotional work that affects thousands of families navigating incredibly difficult circumstances. For many parents, bringing a seriously ill child home is about far more than convenience. It means birthdays at home, bedtime stories in familiar surroundings, brothers and sisters being together under one roof, ordinary family moments that become extraordinary when illness changes daily life. WellChild's mission has always been rooted in making those moments possible, and Harry has repeatedly highlighted the importance of recognizing the resilience of these families. His visit will also include engagements with Scotty's Little Soldiers, an organization supporting children and young people who have lost a parent serving in the British Armed Forces. Bereavement is difficult under any circumstances, but losing a parent through military service brings unique challenges. These children often carry immense grief while also navigating a life shaped by sacrifice, duty, and sudden change. That connection is personal for Harry. Having lost his own mother at a young age, he has often spoken publicly about grief and the long journey of learning to live with loss. While every family's experience is different, there is an understandable reason why supporting bereaved young people has remained close to his heart. Shared experience does not erase pain, but it can help build empathy and understanding. One of the recurring themes throughout Harry's charitable work has been mental health. Long before conversations about emotional well-being became commonplace, he was among several public figures encouraging more open discussion around trauma, anxiety, and recovery. Whether working with veterans, children, or bereaved families, that emphasis continues to appear throughout many of the organizations he supports. What makes this visit particularly interesting is the contrast between the days leading up to it and the visit itself. Much of the pre-arrival coverage centered on questions about accommodation, possible meetings with members of the royal family, and speculation over private relationships. Those topics undoubtedly attract attention because they involve one of the world's most famous families. Yet once the visit actually began, the official schedule shifted the focus back to charities, veterans, and community organizations. That contrast highlights an important feature of modern media. Stories about conflict often travel faster than stories about service. A headline suggesting tension between family members will almost always outperform a headline about a charity engagement. Conflict captures attention. Service requires patience. One generates clicks within minutes, the other builds impact over years. This doesn't mean public interest in the royal family is unreasonable. The monarchy remains a globally recognized institution, and its members naturally attract scrutiny. But it does raise questions about what receives the greatest emphasis. If charitable work is consistently overshadowed by speculation, audiences may miss the very activities that have the most tangible effect on people's lives. For Prince Harry, this visit offers another opportunity to reinforce the causes that have remained central to his public identity. Regardless of differing opinions about his relationship with the royal family, few would dispute the significance of the Invictus Games or the value of supporting organizations like WellChild and Scotty's Little Soldiers. Those missions extend far beyond palace walls. And perhaps that is one of the defining features of this moment. After months of headlines dominated by legal disputes, security issues, memoirs, documentaries, and family dynamics, the conversation briefly returns to something simpler: people helping other people, veterans encouraging one another, children finding support after unimaginable loss, families caring for seriously ill loved ones. Those stories may not always dominate the front pages, but they often reveal the deepest measure of public service. One of the reasons the Invictus Games continue to resonate with so many people is that they redefine what victory looks like. In most sporting competitions, success is measured by medals, podium finishes, and records. Invictus has always been different. For many competitors, simply making it to the starting line is a remarkable achievement. Some are recovering from life-changing physical injuries. Others are navigating invisible wounds, such as post-traumatic stress, depression, or anxiety after military service. The games provide an opportunity to compete, but they also create a community where participants understand one another in ways that few others can. That is why Birmingham 2027 matters. Hosting the Games is about much more than organizing another international sporting event. It is about welcoming competitors from around the world, giving them a platform to share their stories, and reminding the public that recovery is not a straight line. Every athlete arrives with a different journey, a different struggle, and a different definition of success. Some will leave with medals around their necks. Others will leave with renewed confidence, lifelong friendships, or simply the realization that they are not facing their challenges alone. Prince Harry has often described the competitors as the true heroes of Invictus, and that message has remained consistent since the Games were founded. Whatever opinions people may hold about him personally or about the broader royal story, the focus of Invictus has never been one individual. The spotlight has always been intended to shine on veterans who continue serving as examples of resilience long after their military careers have ended. In many ways, Harry has consistently positioned himself as a facilitator rather than the main attraction, using his profile to draw attention to the competitors and their families. There is also something noteworthy about the timing of this visit. In recent weeks, public discussions surrounding Prince Harry has often centered on questions about his relationship with members of the royal family, legal matters relating to security, and speculation about private family interactions. Those topics undoubtedly attract significant media interest. Yet, when Harry's official engagements are announced, they repeatedly involve charities, veterans, and community organizations. It creates a striking contrast between the stories that dominate headlines and the work that fills a schedule. WellChild offers another example of this kind of long-term commitment. Prince Harry has worked with the charity for many years, meeting children with serious illnesses, their families, nurses, and caregivers who face extraordinary challenges every single day. These meetings rarely generate sensational headlines because they are not designed. They are quiet moments focused on listening, encouraging, and recognizing the courage shown by families who often spend years navigating complex medical realities. Imagine being a parent whose child requires constant medical care. Hospital appointments become routine. Everyday activities require careful planning. Something as simple as a family meal or a birthday celebration can involve logistical challenges that most people never have to consider. Organizations like WellChild step into that reality and provide practical support that helps families spend more time together in familiar surroundings. It is difficult work that rarely attracts widespread attention, yet it transforms lives in meaningful ways. The same can be said for Scotty's little soldiers. Losing a parent is devastating under any circumstances. But when that loss occurs in connection with military service, children often face additional emotional and practical challenges. The charity works to ensure those young people know they are not alone. Through mentoring, activities, emotional support, and opportunities to connect with others who have experienced similar loss, it creates a network of understanding that can make an enormous difference during difficult years. For Prince Harry, supporting bereaved military families also reflects his long-standing connection to the armed forces. His military service and his continued advocacy for veterans have shaped much of his public work. Even after stepping back from royal vitties, he has remained involved with organizations connected to service personnel and their families. That continuity is an important part of understanding why visits like this continue to receive attention beyond the royal context. WellChild's message about caring for seriously ill children resonates with families everywhere. Conversations about veterans' mental health and support for bereaved children are not confined to one country. They are universal issues that cross borders, cultures, and political differences. In many respects, this visit serves as a reminder that public figures can be involved in multiple conversations at once. People may continue debating constitutional questions, family relationships, or media coverage. Those discussions are unlikely to disappear. At the same time, charities continue their work, veterans continue their recovery, children continue needing support, and organizations continue relying on public awareness to fulfill their missions. Those realities exist regardless of the latest headline. Ultimately, this trip invites people to look beyond the daily cycle of speculation and consider the lasting impact of service. Headlines come and go with remarkable speed. Today's breaking news is often forgotten within a week. The work carried out by charities such as WellChild and Scotty's Little Soldiers, together with the enduring legacy of the Invictus Games, has the potential to influence lives for years to come. In that sense, the most significant stories are not always the loudest. Sometimes they are the ones unfolding quietly in hospital rooms, community centers, rehabilitation facilities, and training grounds, where determination is measured not by publicity, but by perseverance. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.